My name is David Rainey. I currently live in New Albany. When I was 13 years old, we had an incident and I was taken out of my home for child abuse. And I never will forget being down at the youth court and all that, and the counselor walks in and I'm 13 years old and she said, "Do you have some place to go to live?" And I was like, "No. I mean, you know, is there any kin folks?" And I was like, "No. I mean, I don't have anybody." You know, my first memory of my real mother and father was they actually had a gunfight in the front yard of our house. My mother was shooting through the window at my father in his car. And I mean, that's where I grew up. I mean, that was what I was used to, was chaos. And, but anyway, when they asked me that, you know, I said, "No, I don't have any place to go." And they got together and was kind of talking. They said, "You mean you don't know anybody? You have any uncles or aunts or brothers or sisters?" And I was like, "Well, you know, I don't." And I finally told them, I said, "You know, when I was younger, I stayed at the Baptist Children's Village." And I said, "The Baptist Children's Village?" So they looked it up and they called. And I can remember she calling, asked to speak to Mr. Nunner. You know, she called and said, "Hey, we have a young man that used to live there. His name is David Rainey. We're taking him out of the home. He's now ward of the state. You don't have any place to go. Do you want him?" And he never checked out. In the voice, he said, "Do we need to come get him, or are you going to bring him?" And she said, "I can bring him tomorrow." And that's what we did. I went back to the children's home in 1980, 13 years old, bitter at the world, mad at the world. My grades in 8th grade, my daughter, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and she found my report card for 8th grade. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell them to study, but I mean, seriously, I had straight F's and 1 D, and I was transferred into 9th grade. And the only reason I was transferred is because I was so much trouble. I mean, they just said, "Look, we want him out of here." So they transferred me on. I mean, I was on the road. There was, you know, graduating for high school wasn't even a dream. That wasn't even a goal. I knew I wasn't going to graduate high school. But that summer, I got saved at the Baptist Children's Village. And I can honestly say from that time on in my life, it's not always been easy, but it has definitely went in a different direction. I was fortunate enough when right before my 10th grade year, there was an opening in New Albany group home. And I went to New Albany, and lo and behold, Sean Milner's there again. He's my roommate. So I got reunited with Sean, and a funny story, first weekend I came up on Friday and was going to kind of look and make sure I liked it and tell them whether or not I wanted to stay there or to go back to Jackson. And we went downtown and saw the prettiest little girl I'd ever seen. Prettiest smile, crooked smile. Excuse me. Anyway, I met her, seen her introduced me, and on the way back to our house, I told Sean, I said, "I'm gonna marry that girl." And he laughed. He said, "You're crazy." He said, "There's no way." I married her 26 years. But anyway, but through the children's home and through, you know, good loving people that cared for us. I mean, I was fortunate. I graduated high school, went down to Hines Community College, went to Ole Miss. Got engaged at Ole Miss, and I had to promise my father-in-law that, "Look, I'm going to finish school. We're going to get married, but I promise you I'm going to finish school." And I like to say, in May it'll be 2 years I finished school. I finished at Blue Mountain, but you know, just through the different trials and tribulations, and like I said, we never know what's going on in other people's lives, and it's easy to judge. But you know, a lot of times we don't know or have a clue what they go home to. And thank goodness, and you know, thank God through the Baptist Children's Village and through good folks like y'all that the doors are open and they're taking all comers. They don't pick and choose. They take everybody. So I just want to thank you.